Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of History Comes Alive. For today's episode of History Comes Alive, we are going to be looking at the second golden age, number 2, golden age of ancient China, alright? We are going to be looking at the Tang and the Song dynasties of China. Alright, we're going to separate this into two segments. First segment, we're going to be dealing with the geography of China, and then the second segment, we're going to be talking about specific ODFP, some old dead famous people, as well as some achievements, and we're going to do that by comparing and contrasting the two dynasties. So make sure you guys are paying attention, take copious notes. There's a lot of great stuff yet to come. Alright guys, Mr. Arnold jumped back for this second segment, and in the second segment we're going to be looking at Chinese geography. And when we look at Chinese geography, there are two geographic features that are the lifelines for Chinese civilizations, and they are the rivers. Can you guess them in 3 seconds? I'm going to give you 3, 2, 1. Both rivers, alright? The first one is called the Yangtze River, and the second one is going to be called the Yangtze River, okay? And when we look at the map, the Yangtze River is going to be more northern than the Yangtze River, which is in the south, alright? And they both flow east to west, and they're kind of like parallel lines for trade. Now, in the time of the Tang and Song dynasties, they're going to create a man-made public works project that is going to connect the two different rivers and connect the northern and southern regions of China and kind of make a T as far as crossroads for trade and transportation. And that water-based project and water source is going to be called the Grand Canal. The Grand Canal is going to stretch for more than 2,000 kilometers, a very long distance. And ladies and gents, it is going to bring commercial and cultural success. Just like the Erie Canal. I want you guys to think about the Erie Canal and its impact here in New York State. Just like the Erie Canal, it's going to lead to the development of new talent. It's going to lead to an increase in trading and agriculture, and it's going to help certain societies of China become connected and unified, alright? Throughout the time of the Tang and Song dynasties, we are going to see a big idea and a theme of unification, ladies and gents. So please make sure you remember the two rivers, the first being the Yangtze and the second being the Yangtze. They both flow east to west, and they are going to connect those two regions, and the Grand Canal is going to cut through them. There's going to be 4 specific sections cut through them, and it's going to help China become unified. It's very important. It's going to lead to commercial and commerce in China. Alright guys, that's all I have for you for this second segment. We're going to dive into our third segment, which is our last segment. Yes, I know, it's a quick video, so make sure you guys are paying attention. A lot of great stuff yet to come. Alright guys, Mr. Arnold sliding back in for this third segment, and in this third segment we're going to be looking at the second golden age of China. That being the one that covers 2 dynasties, the Tang and later the Song. We're going to first look at the Tang dynasty. And when we look at the Tang dynasty, we got to keep in mind that it's a golden age. So it's going to be a time of peace, prosperity, and stability with a little bit of expansionism sprinkled in there. First and foremost, the Tang dynasty expanded in China so that we have communication with Europeans through the Silk Roads, as well as trade relations throughout the East. But the big idea with the Tang and Song dynasties is that it is a golden age. And we're going to start to see first and foremost political stability. The guy that's going to bring political stability to the Tang dynasty is a guy by the name of Tong Dynasty, the guy that the dynasty is named after in the first place, right? Tong Dynasty, what he's going to be doing in the first place is government reform, administrative reform. He's going to address the social standing of China, in which we have the gentry at the top, which is a small land-owning elite, as well as peasants, which kind of represent the middle, and merchants at the bottom, and he's going to take small pieces of land from this landowning elite, the gentry, and he's going to distribute it to the peasants. Now, as a result of this, we're going to start to see the peasants gain more and more financial value here in the economy, and we're going to start to see a middle class pop up, ladies and gents, a middle class pop up throughout the Tang Dynasty. Now, on the other side of things, with the Tang Dynasty is going to be established about 300 years later. All right, and they're going to have a smaller kingdom or an empire, and they're going to do most of their trading throughout the east. They're not going to be as reliant upon the Silk Roads as the Tang Dynasty was. But the big idea throughout both these dynasties is that there was achievements. Many, many achievements were established. First and foremost, one of the most famous achievements associated with the Tang and the Tang Dynasty is a mechanical clock. They had a mechanical clock that was powered throughout by using running water. In addition, they had fireworks that they kind of invented by just chance or luck, okay? And what these fireworks did was obviously provide entertainment, but would later shape gunpowder and the use of guns and weapon technology. Now, our third big achievement produced throughout the Tang and Tang dynasties is that of movable type block printing. And what this is going to be able to do, ladies and gents, is that it's going to help mass produce more and more literary texts, which will increase literacy rates, which in turn will increase the education amongst a government and its people. And what's that going to do? If we have better education, if we have a higher quality of life, if we have new technology that's making lives easier, we have expansion, ladies and gents, we have a golden age. All right? Now that we have that out of the way, I want to get into some things about Chinese culture. As I had mentioned before, remember, when we talk about Chinese culture, keep in mind Confucian ideals. During this time in China, we are going to start seeing more and more Confucian ideals take place, or principles. We're going to start to see civil service exams still implemented. Most of the gentry have government jobs because they're the most educated, so therefore they do the best on the civil service exams. In addition to that, we're going to start to see women and men getting married and having the female family having to pay the males what's called a dowry, a payment, as well as the fact that in China, this is the first time where we start to see kind of like foot binding taking place, in which they wrap a woman's foot up to kind of show a high status. Because if a woman does not need her feet to work, it shows that she comes from a high, noble ranking family. Alright, so if you're wondering, where does this all fit into those specific tasks or ideals or vocabulary terms, this is how it does. It was produced and imagined during this time in the Tang and Tang dynasties. Now, when we talk about these two, remember the big idea that it's going to be a time of golden age, a golden age. Peace amongst its empire and kingdom, prosperity, economic prosperity, in which there was new inventions taking place, in which there was raw materials being produced that could be traded up and down the Grand Canal and connecting the two regions of China, whether that be east and west or north and south. And also, don't forget about political stability. There were people like Tang who expanded the empire and created more and more initiatives to create a middle class, which will lead to a political, stable situation. Alright guys, that's all I have for you for this episode of History Comes Alive. If you guys liked it or want to comment, please feel free. I try and get to every comment, or I try and respond to everything that you guys got. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care. I'll see you later.